Hi, everybody. Welcome to Think Country's Talkin Country again. I'm Patti, and we have Lesley and we have Jamie over in jolly old England.
Hey,
And we have me here in Nashville, and we have the very, very lovely and talented Bailey James with us as our guest today. And Bailey, it's so good to see you. Saw you back in February when you
I
talked.
know, it's been a while.
I know. It seems like since February, doesn't it seem like it's been like this, I don't know, like
A whole year.
expanded? Yeah.
No, I feel like it's been a whole year. It's crazy.
It's been not a good whole year either. Right?
no.
No. And Bailey is a fabulous artist. For as young as she is, she's just something else. And she has a new single out. Is that correct, Bailey?
I do. I have a new single out. It is called "I Feel a Sin Coming On." It's a little rebellious. I think it though. I like pushing the boundaries.
And we like that too. We enjoy being a little bit rebellious, and it's just a cool bluesy number, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And for now, though, we're going to turn things over to Jamie, who's going to talk a little bit about some of the new music that came out this week, because this week has just been like, it's New Music Friday.
It's been like mental. It's kind of like, we quite often get like, you might get one or two big releases at a time, but like today, like, we were kind of chatting before, it's like, we think we've kind of had like 7 like major albums that have come out today. I'm sure Lesley will want to talk a little bit about Lindsay L's Heart Theory, which she reviewed for the site. We had a new one from Eric Paslay, Nice Guy, and he really is a nice guy, as I knew from when I spoke to him back in September, and when we caught up again like last week. It's like, it has been way more than a year since we hung out in London, like with everything that's kind of going on like in the world right now. And it's like, time has gone sort of, I don't know, in a weird sort of paradox that exists in the world of Jumanji that is 2020. We had we had a new EP from Raylin, which is fantastic. Baytown, that came out today. Her first release since she signed over with Florida Georgia Line's Round Here Records. And just been kind of loads of other stuff, some singles. We touched on like Devin Dawson before. We had new music from Drew Parker today, who you'll be able to kind of find out all about if you're Luke Combs fans, especially. He's fantastic. He was a co-writer on One Too Many, Luke's your current song. And I caught up with him on Monday, so that'll be coming soon. And kind of, I suppose the other thing to talk about is it's all about kind of what's going on, in the charts and stuff. We have the same #1 album on both sides of the Atlantic. So the Billboard 200 and the official UK #1 album. I don't think you've given it enough credit for what it's done, like the weeks when I've been away. But we just need to bask in the glory of folklore a little bit, and how the world needed Taylor Swift to come and save us with this wonderful, indie record, working with, Jack Antonoff and, The National and Bon Iver. And then that's fantastic. And as well, she's not the only lady that's kind of doing great things at the minute. We've seen over previous weeks and stuff, Miranda had kind of the #1 radio single. Maddie and Tay have got the #1 single at country radio this week. I hope it's still kind of breaking more and more records, topping like the hot country songs and the country streaming charts. And, it's a pretty exciting time for all the girls right now.
You're right, it is. And that's good news for people like Bailey, who's obviously a girl. And
yeah,
obviously.
It's very exciting. You're right, Jamie. And Lesley, what do you got going on?
Well, surprisingly enough, I've been listening to albums from female artists today, because they're my #1. And the two, I did listen to Lindsay L's, and I spoke about that on our last episode, Jamie. So the two I'd like to concentrate on this episode are both actually inspired by the artists' families. And the first one is the debut album from the phenomenal Kaylee Hammocks, who I'm sure you're all absolutely familiar with. She's been working her butt off in Nashville, singing in bars, songwriting. for other artists, and now she's coming into her own as an artist in her own right, a recording artist in her own right. And her debut album is called If It Wasn't For You, which, as I mentioned before, is a tribute to all the people, but especially her family, who have got her to where she is in her career at the moment. And she draws on a lot of different inspirations in her music, and they all come through on this album. You've got country, you've got rock, you've got gospel, you've got soul. Her vocals are off the scale amazing. You've probably heard, I'm sure, the lead single, Family Tree, which is great fun, as is Redhead, which was a duet with the one and only Reba. But there's also a lot of very more poignant tracks on there too, including Forged in Fire, which was inspired by a track saying that her father used to say, and was inspired by a house fire that destroyed practically everything she had. And there's also an amazing track called Sister, which is a tribute to her sister, surprisingly enough, absolutely beautiful. Katie co-produced the album. She really likes to take control of things and make things sound how she can hear them in her head. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the future holds for this artist. And then secondly, the other album that I just touched on that is inspired by the artist's family is from Kansas native Ashley Ray. It's actually her third album, but you might know her more as a songwriter. She actually was Grammy nominated earlier this year for her co-write on Little Big Town's The Daughters. But her album that came out today is called Pauline, and the Pauline in question is actually her grandmother. The title track, Pauline, is well, it's all beautiful, but it's particularly amazing. It actually starts off with a telephone conversation she recorded from her mother, who was telling her about her grandmother. It was produced by another great talent called Sean McConnell, who you may or may not have heard of. I've seen him over here in the UK opening for both Ashley McBryde and Ashley Monroe, and now he's produced Ashley Ray's album, so he must have a thing about a female artist called Ashley. But it's a fantastic album, as I said, definitely worth a listen, and again, I'm very excited to see where this takes her in her career. Yeah, Ashley Ray and Pauline.
That's
it was
very
like
exciting.
you mentioned kind of Sean McConnell, somebody else that was over here last year that it seems like played the Long Road Festival where we caught up with him kind of amongst the hay bales up there, and that seems like forever and ever ago that kind of all that stuff was happening. And you mentioned like Kaylee Hammock too. He was actually the last person I properly saw on stage before all this crazy kind of world kicked in. Just before the festival that never happened, she played an industry showcase with Carl Daniel and Austin Jenks and Kylie Morgan, and that again, it seems like forever ago that we got to see, some people got to see that fiery redhead on stage over here, and hopefully there'll be something that more people will get to. And kind of on touching on, so I'm going to kind of jump into like Patti's kind of part here and stuff, but talking about fiery redheads, Bailey, I see that you've got some new friends that you're rolling with as well now. See that?
I joined the Highway Women as their first.
Yeah, because I spoke to Heather and Kristen probably maybe about 4 weeks ago, something like that. So
Kristen has really red hair. Yes, she does.
That's what I was hinting at. I was saying we're talking about one redhead, so I gave it as a nice sort of link in. But it's that must be really cool to kind of be coming into kind of working with those girls and being in something that stands so strongly for female empowerment in this sort of time.
No, it's amazing. I'm so grateful to be a part of it. I was just kind of fate. They called me up. They said, "Hey, like we really want you to be a part of it." I have been friends with Kristen for a long time, and I love them and I love what they stand for, because I have my own feelings about it, and the only way to actually do something about the issues in music with women is to get out there and sing.
Yeah. Is it the first band you've ever been a part of, Bailey?
Yeah, it is the first band, and it's very odd for me because I've always just, you know, been a solo artist. So having to change it up a little bit is a good challenge. And I've been able to do harmonies, but now I'm learning new things that I never knew about. And they're all older than me. I'm 17. They're all in their 20s and 30s and have kids. So I'm like the baby, and they baby me, which I'm fine with.
That's good. You can learn from them too as well, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yes, they can teach me all the life lessons.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you probably keep them a little bit young. So there's good things both ways, I think.
Oh yeah, they were like, "How do you take such good selfies?" I'm like, lighting and
Ask, you want to take a good selfie, ask somebody that's young.
yeah.
They can tell you about filters and
You just need, Patti, all you need is a ring light. That's the solution to
ring.
everything. That's
I have one right over there.
Yeah, same as mine behind here.
See?
So Bailey, you've been in Nashville now since you were 13 years old, haven't you? So, I mean, 4 years is not a huge amount of time, but as a percentage of your life, actually, that's quite a long time. How do you think you've developed as an artist since you've been there?
Oh, well, when I started originally when I was 11, released my first EP when I was 12, and it was called Where It All Begins. Very old school country, just like as swingy as it gets, kind of. So I had a single on there called Texas Swing, and it was just completely Texas country. I was yodeling. Now that I've listened to more artists, and I have a lot of musical inspirations that aren't in country. I love Janis Joplin. I love Nirvana. I love Amy Winehouse. And so they're all rebellious artists, and they really push the envelope in a way that I love. And that has made me take a double take on my music. My music's completely different than back then, and I'm not the same little girl in the little flowery dresses dancing around, but I'm still me. And this music that I'm releasing now feels most authentic to who I am.
It takes a while, but eventually everybody figures out who they are. And I think you're really getting there. You're just so, I mean, I can tell just in the few years watching, you know, like you've said, you were pretty straight up, you know, yeehaw country girl.
Yeah.
And, now you've just got like just the coolest vibe. And, you know, not to say that you don't belong in the genre, you sure do, but you just found a way to mix it with those cool rock vibes and, you know, just some bluesy. You sound great. You really just do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It took me a while. It did. And it took a lot of phases because I'm a teenager. So I literally went through all the phases in front of hundreds of thousands of people.
And you still have plenty of time. You're so young. You've got so much time.
Yeah. So this could be a phase. I don't even know. This could be a phase too.
I like it though. I like it.
We might see you be a hip hop artist on your next release. Then is this what you're saying?
Never know. But Bailey, would you sing us a couple things?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start. I had two singles come out recently. I'm gonna play both of them for you.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. This first one is called Trainwreck. This is a little bit of a country ballad.
I love this one.
Yeah, I wrote it about a breakup, and it was my first like real breakup. It was a real relationship, and it sucked. So
those are the best kind. They're so real.
Yeah, this is Trainwreck. It's been 90 days without an accident. That don't mean it won't happen again. And that's about the longest that it's been since it all derailed and the whole thing failed. Like a train wreck, kissing and making up till there's nothing left. Everything we were is just scattered on the tracks. No, you can't put it back. like a train wreck. Ooh. The lights are flashing red. The bridge is gonna give. Yeah, we know where this thing ends. But damn, here we go again. Like a train wreck. Kissing, making up till there's nothing left. Everything we were is just scattered on the tracks. No, we can't put it back like a train wreck. Like a train wreck. Kissing, making up till there's nothing left. Everything we were is just scattered on the tracks. No, you can't put it back like a train wreck. I'm a train wreck. You're a train wreck. I'm a train wreck. We're a train wreck.
Your
Very
voice is
nice.
just so mature. It's incredible.
Thank
Absolutely
It
incredible.
totally is. It's just gone eons from just even a couple of years. It's really just crazy.
you.
And you made a great video to that one too, didn't you, Bailey? Is that the side of things you're enjoying doing?
I love doing the videos in quarantine. That's one of my favorite things because that was like the beginning of quarantine for the US, and so everyone was pretty intense about it. So we went to train tracks right by my house, and luckily when I was singing the song, a train started going right by and my mom's flipping out. She was like, get off the tracks. But me and my dad, we shot some cool
And
he's
you
sitting
live to
right here,
tell the
that's why I'm
tale.
looking that way. Yeah, we shot some really cool stuff there, and they're credited at the end of the video. I'm super close with my parents because I'm still a teenager, and they've done everything with me. They're like my best friends, which makes me sound like a nerd, but it's true.
No, it's never
Not
a nerd to
nerdy
have your
at
parents
all.
as your best friend.
Yeah. So
Got another one for us?
yes, this one is completely different, but this is the single I released recently. I'm putting out a new one too that's really different. I'm not sticking to any certain sound right now because I'm just kind of experimenting. And so this is called I Feel a Sin. I wrote this about 2 years ago, and I just recently put it out. And looking back on it, I look at the lyrics and I'm like, you knew nothing, Bailey. And I still don't, but yeah, this is I Feel a Sin. I feel a sin coming home. I feel something cold and unruly. God knows I've done wrong. I feel a sin come. This is my confession. Lord knows I tried to be good. I never meant to hurt anybody. I'm not bad, I'm not bad, I'm not bad, I'm just misunderstood. I feel a sin coming home. I feel something unruly. God knows I've done wrong. I feel a sin coming on. You can tell everybody all of the ways that I did you wrong. But I get mad, I get even, and revenge, yeah, revenge, yeah, revenge is best served icy cold. Come be a sinner, come be a sinner, come be a sinner, just don't call me anymore. I feel a sin coming on.
I can't believe you wrote that when you were 15 years old. That's just phenomenal.
Thank you so much.
Unbelievable.
Me either.
And it obviously, it has stood the test of 2 years to make it to 17, where you can look back on it and go, wow, I didn't know anything, but maybe subconsciously somebody inside your brain, something knew that that was going to work for you now, because that is so your style now. You know? I mean,
I think I was writing for the future and I didn't even know.
yeah, you didn't even know it, right? I mean, how good is that song? That song is great.
Thank you. I like how I can do the high notes because I'm originally opera, like I was trained by an opera teacher. So I grew up in opera, and opera singers are the best singers in the world, and they get no recognition or support, but they are the best singers. And
that's how come you've got all that control as well, and the emotion. It's just, yeah, that falls into place now.
I got lucky. I got really lucky. And anyways, I'm glad I can incorporate that into that song.
Good. See, all those opera lessons they weren't a waste of money, right? Is that what we're saying?
No. She was a world-renowned opera singer that lived in my little small town in Pennsylvania. So it was meant to be. I know, it's crazy. And
Sure.
She taught me a lot about my voice. Because when I started, I was very, very different.
Well,
I wasn't born singing like this.
Well, something worked and something snapped and right into place. It sound good. That's all I can say.
And
thank you so much.
When you write, Bailey, do you solo write or do you co-write at all?
I co-write sometimes. I have this weird thing where I write on my own usually, and I'll just sit there whenever the time feels right with my guitar, find a melody I like, and then I'll start writing on my own. And if I really like it, I'll bring it to a writer. One of my favorite writers, his name's Nolan Neal, and I've wrote all of my favorite songs with him. But right now, he's in California, and he's on America's Got Talent, so I can't write with him. So I've been writing on my own a lot, and some of the songs I listen to afterwards, and I'm like, I'm never going to share this with anyone. But people would think I'm psycho. But I write on my own a lot. It helps. I have a lot going on in my head. I have a musician's brain, and getting it all out there is like therapy. Yeah.
That's good. Well, I'm sure that we are not going to be hearing the last from Bailey James right now, because you've got a lot, I'm sure, cooking, and there are so many years left in your career that we're not even going to see, but lots of people will. So we will be waiting for whatever's coming next. And any live streams or anything coming up that anybody should know about with you?
I have a new single coming out. It's called.
When is that?
What is it called? Mama Says.
Mama Says.
Oh, Mama Says. September 4th. My parents are telling me September 4th.
Mama Says September 4th.
It's a bit of a doo-woppy kind of tongue-in-cheek song. My boyfriend's mom didn't like me, and I wrote a song about it. There you go. That's that story.
Perfect. We get inspiration from everywhere, don't we?
Yeah. Now she does, but when she listens to the song, I don't know.
Well, maybe it'll be a hit someday, and then she'll love it.
Yeah.
So,
half.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Bailey, and thank you to Lesley and Jamie for joining me, and we'll see everybody next time on Talkin Country, and everybody have a good day. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.